As many of you know, Pittsburgh has a reputation for being one of the most affordable housing markets in the country. The median sales price currently is $240,000 in the Pittsburgh market. And affordability also applies to our luxury real estate market. If you are considering a home purchase in the Pittsburgh area and your budget is north of $700,000, then stay tuned to this video where I'm going to feature 8 communities with luxury real estate and learn which communities might be the best fit for you. So the way I'm going to organize this video is talk about 3 distinct luxury real estate categories. The first is someone looking to buy luxury real estate in the urban city market. The next is someone that's looking for a lot more privacy, looking for estate living. And the final category is the luxury suburban market. This, of course, is the largest category, and be sure not to miss my very last community where you might be shocked at the median sales price in this neighborhood. Hi, my name is Mark McClinchie, and I'm a real estate agent in the Pittsburgh area, serving the entirety of Allegheny County and its surrounding communities. I started this YouTube channel back in 2020 as a way to provide information for out-of-state buyers looking to make the move to Pittsburgh that couldn't find information anywhere else. So let's jump right into our first category, the luxury city buyer. If you don't mind a more densely populated community and you love the cultural amenities that you get in the walkability in an urban community, I've got 2 East End communities that might just be a great fit for you. The first East End community I want to talk about is the neighborhood of Shadyside. Shadyside has about 15,000 residents. It's about a 10 to 15 minute commute to downtown Pittsburgh. The walkability of Shadyside is fantastic. The official walk score is a 91. The other nice feature of Shadyside is that it's a relatively flat area in Pittsburgh, so all the walking you might do, you're not going to find too many hills like you will in just about every other community in the Pittsburgh area. The Shadyside area is filled with families and students and people of all walks of life and ages. So it does have an energy there that is unmistakable. It's easy access to public transportation. There's nearby parks that are a great amenity. You can access Shenley Park very easily. You've got great access to all the amenities in East Liberty as well as Bakery Square. And of course, you can't forget about the vibrant business districts throughout the Shadyside area. So some of the trade-offs you might be making by looking to live in Shadyside, of course, are all the visitors that come there. So everyone loves Shadyside, and you got people coming in from the suburbs or other neighborhoods within the city. So it can get congested at times, especially during some of those peak shopping seasons. And of course, one of the most obvious trade-offs you would have to make is that you're going to potentially be looking at buying very old homes, and they might need a lot of maintenance. They might need a lot of upkeep. They might need a lot of updates. So let me give you some quick real estate facts about Shadyside. In the last 12 months, there were 60 homes that were sold in Shadyside at a median sales price of $857,000. Of those 60 home sales, 25 of them were $1 million or more. So quite a large percentage of homes selling above $1 million in Shadyside. And right now, inventory is kind of high in Shadyside. Surprisingly, it's been known to have a lot tighter inventory, but currently we have 4.4 months of inventory. The average days on market in Shadyside is 37. That's probably a little bit longer than some of the other communities in this video that I'll feature. The sales price to original list price ratio is 95%, which isn't too bad. So for our next city neighborhood with luxury housing, let's move from Shadyside and up the hill to Squirrel Hill. Squirrel Hill is actually a large geographic area. There are roughly 30,000 residents of Squirrel Hill. Unlike Shadyside, Squirrel Hill is definitely hillier, but as I mentioned, it does cover a large geographic area. Reason that people love living in Squirrel Hill is it has such a strong community identity. It centers around the business districts along Forbes Avenue and Murray Avenue. Another one of the anchors of the Squirrel Hill community is Taylor Alderdice High School, which has an outstanding reputation and has great rankings for one of the best high schools in the Pittsburgh area, and that is right in the heart of Squirrel Squirrel Hill. So Squirrel Hill has tons of upsides, but some of the trade-offs you might be making, again, are gonna be around that older housing stock, similar to Shadyside. Not all of them are perfectly move-in ready. So if you're thinking about a move to Squirrel Hill, here are some interesting real estate statistics. In the last 12 months, there were 143 home sales, and 23 of those home sales were above $1 million. The median sales price in the last 12 months was $556,000. As far as inventory in Squirrel Hill, currently there are 3.3 months of inventory. Now, you go back to the age-old issue that is happening throughout the Pittsburgh region, and some of that inventory is just sitting there because people are not interested in making renovations and updates. So it's really those move-in ready homes in Squirrel Hill that command the most attention, but there are a number of homes in Squirrel Hill that are not moving very quickly. The median days on market in Squirrel Hill is 29 days, and the sales price to list price ratio is 96%. Before we get to the rest of the communities in this video, I do want to take a quick pause and let you know about a great resource you might find really helpful. So if you're liking this video, you might like my free relocation guide even better. So there's a QR code on your screen right now. There's a link in the description below. You can download that relocation guide where you're going to take a deeper dive into all the amenities of living in the Pittsburgh region, cover our sports and recreation opportunities, cultural amenities, our festivals, tons of information in there you might find really useful, as well as at the back of the guide, I go through community by community, some of the most popular communities that my clients are interested in, and give you the details about why people like living there and what the real estate stats are to help you find out maybe some of the communities that might be a good fit for you. So download that relocation guide and let me know what you think. If you have any follow-up questions, please reach out. So we just covered city living for luxury buyers, and now sort of the opposite of that. If you like privacy, if you're not into some densely populated areas and you want a lot more elbow room and you're looking for estate type living, I've got two communities and areas that I think might be a great fit for you. These are some of the higher end homes available in the Pittsburgh area, but when compared to other real estate markets throughout the country, these are some of the most affordable luxury homes that you can find in the country. So we're going to start with Fox Chapel Borough. So Fox Chapel is kind of a North Hills community, and it's a pretty large geographic area with only about 5,000 residents. So all of the homes throughout Fox Chapel generally are very spread out. Many of them sit on large 1 acre or larger lots. So these are estate living where many of these homes sit back from the main road and have tons of privacy. So from Fox Chapel, you're looking about a 20-minute commute to downtown. Fox Chapel really does have kind of a rural feel. You definitely don't see a ton of like suburban subdivisions. You have a heavy tree canopy, lots of tree cover there, which is really fantastic. Some of the reasons that people love living in the Fox Chapel area, of course, is because of the privacy. The local public school district, which is Fox Chapel Area School District, has a fantastic reputation and a highly ranked school. That is another reason why people are attracted to this community. In the last 12 months, there were 56 home sales, and half of them, 28 of them, were at $1 million or more, which of course makes the median sales price right at $1 million. The inventory in there is pretty low. We only have about 2 months of inventory based on how many homes are currently listed on the market and how many homes get sold on an average monthly basis. The median days on market in Fox Chapel is 28 days, and the sales price to list price ratio is 94%. So let's transition from one prestigious community to another prestigious community, and that is the Sewickley area. So when we talk about Sewickley, a lot of people just refer to the general area of Sewickley and the hills that are nearby, all as just one big area. But there actually are multiple municipalities throughout that region. So I'm going to talk about the entire area in and around the village of Sewickley. But the village of Sewickley, which I've talked a lot about on this channel, has plenty of shops and walkability, and it's a charming little place with amazing Victorian architecture and lots of beautiful homes. But that actually won't be the subject of this section of the video. I want to talk about estate living, but I'm going to focus on 3 communities. So those 3 communities, Edgeworth, Bell Acres, and Sewickley Heights, they have a combined population of about 4,000 residents. But some of the reasons why people like living in that area, in those communities, it does offer a lot of privacy. These are large homes, mansion homes that sit on plenty of acreage, typically 1 acre or more, particularly in the Sewickley Heights area. A lot of people love living in those areas because they like their privacy, but then they love being able to go down to Sewickley Village with, just a short drive, or Edgeworth residents could walk, of course. Another significant factor is the local public school district is Quaker Valley. Quaker Valley is a really strong school district. You also have Sewickley Academy, which is a private day school for kindergarten through 12th grade. That also has a phenomenal reputation, and a lot of area residents send their children to Sewickley Academy, as well as surrounding communities. One of the things to keep in mind about the Sewickley area is that, the distance to the city center is a little bit on the further side. If that is a priority for you, maybe a community like Fox Chapel would be a better fit. You are gonna see some older housing inventory. Many of these homes have been built many decades ago. Again, I'm gonna give you statistics that are just for a combination of Edgeworth, Bell Acres, and Sewickley Heights. In the last 12 months, there were 52 homes that were sold in those 3 areas, and 32 of those 52 homes were sold at $1 million or higher, giving it a median sales price of $1.3 million, which by Pittsburgh standards is extremely high. By national standards, probably extremely low. So just keep that in mind. Again, these are luxury real estate markets. So the months of inventory in these communities right now sits at 5 months. So there are a number of homes that have been there. It is such a smaller buyer pool. Now, the opposite though, it's interesting, the median days on market, again, not the average days on market, but the median days on market in the last 12 months was 13 days. And the sales price to list price ratio is 98%. Now that we've covered the private estate luxury buyer, let's transition to the suburban luxury buyer, which is probably the most popular and the most common buyer in the Pittsburgh area. I've got 2 that I want to talk about in the North Hills, and then I've got 2 that are in the South Hills. So let's start up in the North Hills. We're going to start with Marshall Township. Marshall Township is about 20 miles from downtown. There are 10,000 residents, and the location is definitely one of the reasons why people love it. I just talked about the commute to downtown, but also just having access to Cranberry Township and the entire 228 corridor is a great, amenity where you're not living right in it like the residents of Cranberry and Mars and Seven Fields, but you still have access to it. So I think Marshall Township residents really love their privacy, and they like being a little bit away from the center of the action. Another factor that people choose Marshall Township is the highly ranked North Allegheny School District. So North Allegheny is the largest school district outside of the Pittsburgh public school system. Marshall Township offers a number of recreational opportunities that are within the township, like Nob Hill Community Park, as well as access to nearby communities. There is a trail system that goes throughout Marshall Township that links neighborhood to neighborhood. But one of the downsides is just how competitive it is. You're not the only one that wants to do that. So it's incredibly competitive. So let me run through some of the statistics on the real estate market in the last 12 months in Marshall Township. So in the last 12 months, there were 92 home sales, and 25 of those home sales were above $1 million. The median sales price in Marshall Township over the last 12 months was $750,000. The median days on market was very quick. It was only 10 days on market, and the sales price to list price ratio is 99%. So almost all the homes are getting exactly what they're asking. As far as what the housing market is like, you see a lot of homes that were built in the 1990s and 2000s, and these are larger homes that are easily 3,000 or more square feet. One feature that is very hard to find in the Pittsburgh area is a 3-car garage. You see them a lot in other markets throughout the country, but a 3-car garage is generally pretty rare in the Pittsburgh area, particularly in Allegheny County, but you can find a number of 3-car 3-car garages in Marshall Township. Be an interesting statistic, but I should look into that, of what percentage of homes in Marshall Township are 3-car garages. My bet is that it has a larger percentage than any other community inside Allegheny County. Maybe not as many as the next community I'm going to talk about, which is Pine Township. So right next door to Marshall Township is Pine Township. It is a separate school district. It is part of the Pine-Richland School District. But for all the reasons that people like Marshall Township, many people are also considering Pine Township. There's a lot of similarities. Pine Township has some great housing stock, particularly in the luxury real estate market. A lot of newer homes have been built out in Pine Township, but it is super easy to access all the amenities in Cranberry and along the 228 corridor. People love living in Pine Township because of the school district. You know, all the accolades that I provided of North Allegheny School District, same is said often about Pine-Richland School District. One of the best amenities about living in Pine Township is the access to outdoor activities. You've got Pine Community Park, which is a huge community center and lots of fields and playgrounds and trails. You also have North Park. So North Park is one of the largest county parks in Allegheny County, and North Park has tons of options: golf course, ice skating rink, trails. I do think compared to other communities inside Allegheny County, Pine Township does have very low taxes compared to other Allegheny County communities, especially the South Hills, which I'll talk about momentarily. The housing inventory in Pine Township is fantastic. You get a lot of bang for your buck. If you're looking to spend north of $700,000, Pine Township, you probably get more for your money there than just about any other community that I can think of in the Pittsburgh region. So to give you an insight into what's happening in the real estate market in Pine Township, in the last 12 months, there's been 112 homes that have sold, and 30 of those homes have sold north of $1 million. The median sales price is $727,000. You're looking at a months of inventory of 1.8 months. It's one of the lower amounts of inventory on this list in this video. The median days on market in Pine Township is 22 days. We have a 99% sales price to list price ratio. So pretty much the average is when homes get listed, that's what they're selling for. So we've talked about a couple of the communities in the North Hills. So let's cross some rivers and go through some tunnels down to the South Hills and talk about two communities down there where, if you're looking to buy luxury real estate, perhaps these communities will be a good fit for you. So first up, let's talk about the township of Upper St. Clair. It's about a 35 minute drive to downtown, probably with no traffic. There are approximately 20,000 residents of Upper St. Clair. Upper St. Clair is fairly car dependent, lots of walkability within a neighborhood or maybe a nearby park. Like most suburban communities throughout the Pittsburgh area, the walk score is going to be kind of low and car dependability is going to be very high. A couple reasons why people love living in Upper St. Clair, and probably the top reason is the school district. I've made extensive videos on what's happening inside Upper St. Clair School District. Lots of great things, highly ranked school, top-notch curriculum, has an international baccalaureate program that a lot of people seek out since it's one of the only ones in the Pittsburgh area. The location of Upper St. Clair is also quite convenient with access to major retail hubs. You know, South Hills Village sits in Upper St. Clair, so you have a thriving mall with all the big box stores. Other people, the flip side, I suppose, is that it causes congestion that people that are not from the South Hills get upset with. There's a lot of green space throughout Upper St. Clair. There's a lot of neighborhood parks throughout the area. You've got the largest park there, the Boyce Mayview Park, which has a lot of trails, a lot of sports facilities. The Upper St. Clair Rec Center is a really great amenity that was recently built and has all the top-notch facilities. One of the things to keep in mind if considering a purchase in Upper St. Clair is the higher property tax rate that you're going to see there. You have a millage rate that is in the low 40s, which is similar to a lot of the other South Hills communities. In the last 12 months, there were 215 homes that were sold in Upper St. Clair, and 16 of those sold above $1 million. The median sales price was $500,000, and the days on market was 7. So that is definitely one of the lowest median days on market on the communities in this video. So you do have a wide range range of opportunities in Upper St. Clair. The months of inventory in Upper St. Clair currently is at 2.4, which is kind of on the lower side. Sales price to list price ratio is 100%. So it is a very high demand area. You see a lot of multiple offer situations happening in Upper St. Clair. So the final community I want to feature is the community of Mount Lebanon. Mount Lebanon is actually where I call home. I've lived here for over 10 years. So it is a community that I know a lot about. I featured it on many videos on my channel. Mount Lebanon is only about 5 miles from downtown Pittsburgh. It has a population of just over 30,000 residents. Mount Lebanon is one of the more unique communities throughout the Pittsburgh area because it is a suburban community that still has a lot of walkability that you don't get in a lot of other suburban communities. Its access to public transportation, particularly the light rail, is a popular feature of Mount Lebanon. One of the features that is really unique to Mount Lebanon are several thriving business districts. So there's the Uptown District. You have another thriving business district over on Beverly Road, as well as businesses throughout Mount Lebanon. So there's some great recreation opportunities within Mount Lebanon. You've got several community parks. My favorite is Bird Park. Bird Park has some nature trails, great place to go for a walk. Another reason that a lot of people love living in Mount Lebanon is the public school district. So the Mount Lebanon schools are fantastic. There are 7 elementary schools that are all neighborhood schools. And then you have 2 middle schools, and then you have the 1 high school. But great academics, highly ranked school district. All of our kids have really enjoyed their experience at Mount Lebanon. Mount Lebanon definitely has older homes, and I think that is why a lot of people are attracted to Mount Lebanon. Beyond the walkability, beyond the schools, there is some fantastic architecture with a lot of character. In the last 12 months, there's been 328 home sales, so that is definitely the biggest number of home sales. Mount Lebanon is the largest community that I'm featuring in this video. And the median sales price, this is the number that might shock you, is $410,000. You know, there is a wide variety of homes available in Mount Lebanon at all price ranges. So there have been 18 homes that have sold above $1 million, but obviously there's a significant number of homes. More than half of the homes have sold below $410,000. So that's a whole lot of homes. If you're not a luxury buyer and you're looking to buy, maybe in your budget is around $300,000, you might have way more opportunities in Mount Lebanon than you thought. The months of inventory in Mount Lebanon right now is 1.3 months. So that's a very low number compared to the entire region. The average days on market is 16 days, and the sales price to list price ratio is 100%. So a very competitive market in Mount Lebanon. I hope you have found this video helpful. We've taken a deep dive to talk about 8 different communities that all have luxury homes available in there. And all these communities have different pros and cons and different amenities, and there might be one that's the right fit for you. And don't forget to put the real estate market in the Pittsburgh area into a national context. So we're talking about luxury real estate. And again, if your budget is north of $700,000, you might find that you're going to get a lot for your money compared to other regions throughout the country. But these 8 communities, there are more like it, but I focused on just these 8 for now. But if you are interested in learning more about those 8 communities, or you want to make the move to Pittsburgh, the best place to start is filling out my intake form. So there is a QR code on your screen right now, and there's a link in the description below to fill out my form. So this form will allow you to tell me more about what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your goals are, and you'll be able to book an appointment. So when we make that appointment, we'll have a consultation. I do appointments every Monday, and we'll get you in and we'll talk about your needs and your goals. We'll start identifying those neighborhoods that might be the best fit for you. So it might be one of the 8 we just talked about in this video, or it's probably going to be some other community, because it's a very complex real estate market, which is why you need an expert like myself that knows all of those areas and that can guide you to identifying those neighborhoods and those communities that are going to be the best fit for you. Hope you've enjoyed this video. By the way, if you want to see another video where I talk about some of my favorite neighborhoods in the Pittsburgh area, check out this video right here. I just published it a few weeks ago. It's got a lot of great content about communities that you might not be familiar with. So check that out. Thanks for watching, and welcome to Pittsburgh.